be brief because I know there's lots of speakers to come, so I'll just going to make three main points really as part of my contribution. I'd like to sort of I'd like to talk about the ideological drive of this government and what is behind the ideological drive. And it's true, the maps on Michael Gove's wall absolutely declare his ideological intent. There does appear to be contradictions in the government's policies. If you think about the contradictions in the curriculum, that the curriculum should be given back to schools, but there should be a national curriculum, and you're free within a slimmed-down national curriculum to teach what you like, because there'll be more space and time, but you've got to teach synthetic phonics. But of course it's not a national curriculum because it doesn't have to be taught to children in free schools and academies. If you think about the government's ideological drive on professionalism, we want to trust teachers more, we want to give back professionalism to the profession, we want to give teachers choice, and then they're introducing a performance management system, which means that your last two appraisals will go on your reference, which will turn the performance management system into a tick box by numbers. And if you look at the teaching standards, the draft teaching standards, those are not about professionalism, those are about this is what teachers will do in the most reductive way. So there's a contradiction there. But you have to look beyond these contradictions they mask what is a clear ideological drive. And that was made very clear in a meeting that the unions had with Michael Gove and Oliver Letwin about 3 weeks ago, when we've got a return meeting on Tuesday. And Letwin said this. He said, any decision which is taken above the local is a necessary evil. So we can't have local people in a ward deciding whether their tank will go to Iraq. But really that's the level at which decisions should be made. And anything above that is an unnecessary evil. And in that, he quite explicitly included local authorities. And his view, and the view of Gove as well, is that local authorities are not necessary, they do a bad job, they take money away from schools, they coordinate, all that they should be there for is to commission services. They should not be there to do any coordination between schools. And so the clear drive is this, and Lisa and Christine have talked about this, but I just want to underpin it. The clear drive is this. We are moving from a state education system to a state-funded education system. In this system, children's rights to a broad and balanced education are dependent upon the schools their parents choose. Because if you go to an academy or a free school, you don't have to teach the national curriculum. So you have no guarantee to a broad and balanced education system. And indeed, when I asked Michael Gove at this meeting, if I'm a taxpayer funding education, I have a right to know that what I am funding through my taxes gives children rights. It gives them rights to access to sex education. It gives them rights to not be indoctrinated by creationist theories. It gives them rights to have a full curriculum taught to them by qualified teachers. And I don't want to pay through my taxes for anything less. Children have rights beyond that which their parents choose for them. And he didn't have an answer. And of course, this is where the whole ideological drive of the government falls down. And ATL showed this very clearly in our booklet we produced about a year ago, England Schools Not Open for Business. All this talk about localism is actually a distraction, because really what this is about is selling off our schools so that private companies can come in and not just run the backdoor services of IT and employment and things like that, but also start packaging up. And I've had private companies come to me and try and tell me what a good job they do around curriculum packages and around teacher training packages. So any idea that this will become a local curriculum for local people is not true. What this is a means by which private companies come in through the back door, and as sure as eggs are eggs, at the moment schools can't be open for profit, but that will change if this carries on. So this is not a state education system, it's a state-funded education system. Now, I was listening to them very carefully around different models, and I do think we do have to be creative about different models, because whatever we know, when we get through this, and when we start turning it back, it won't look the same. We're going to have to start imagining what a state education system will look like, which will have been through this academy revolution, and how we actually then reimagine how we gain proper democratic control over our schools again. But my challenge to Gove in these meetings is consistently, where are your levers? And I do think there's something else that's going to happen. And I do think the road is going to get very rocky for Mr Gove and the Academy programme. And the reason for that is this. The government is setting forth on a path to get the 20,000 schools in England to go it alone, do it themselves. Some will be okay, many will not. It will only take the first child in a free school to be badly injured because the free school's in the wrong it's in the wrong building and there hasn't been proper health and safety controls. It will only take the free school to be shown completely indoctrinated their children with religious ideology. They may get through the application process but then start. It will only take the first academy when this year's bribes go, and academies, because the government has made a commitment that academies should not benefit from extra funding, and quite simply with the number of conversions at the moment, the government can't afford to keep bribing academies, bribing schools to become academies. It will only take the first academy to become in real financial difficulty or to be shown really playing fast and loose with admissions. Things will start to go wrong, and my challenge to Michael Gove consistently is this. You believe competition will be the answer. The problem with competition is there's winners and losers, and as soon as it becomes losers in education, and this is children's lives and children's rights, then people will start to get very agitated indeed. And whenever I say that, he says yes. So when I say it to Nick Gibb, the school's minister, Nick Gibb says, yes, but I believe in levers. And I said, but you've left yourself none. When things go wrong, when a school, which was very good, starts to fail, what powers does the local authority have to intervene? And yet it's the local authority hitherto which would have known, particularly when local authorities are being decimated, their school improvement teams are being decimated. Who will know when it starts to go wrong? Because the school can go wrong very quickly and can go very badly wrong very quickly. Who will know and how will they intervene? And we know that's a problem because when things started to go wrong at Richard Rose Academy in Cumbria, and do you remember Ed Balls went before the Education Select Committee when Ofsted had gone in and given it 4s across the board, and Ofsted had said this school isn't safe for children to go into it. It's not even safe for children to be physically there. And I was going in to Ed Balls once a week saying to him, because we had a great school rep in that school and we had a great branch secretary, and I was getting the information weekly. I was going in and saying, right now, teachers can't walk down the corridors. They've got to walk outside and then get the nearest exit because there's so much disorder and disruption on the corridors. It's dangerous for teachers to walk down there. And he didn't act, and then the parents asked Ofsted to go in, and they went in. And do you remember Ed Balls went before the Select Committee and said, well, Cumbria is a long way from London. Do you remember that? Now, that was with very few academies. My prediction is that things will start to go very wrong. Things will hold together for a year or so, then they're going to start going wrong, and there's going to be some spectacular things going wrong. And then the government will be scrabbling around, looking to do what it's destroyed, looking to recreate in some form what it's destroyed, and that's the local education authority. So, watch this space.